was great. So our last reader is Tracey Knapp, who is the author of Mouth, winner of the 42 Miles Press Poetry Award in 2014. She's received scholarships from the Tin House Writers Workshop and the Dorothy Sargent Rosenberg Poetry Fund. Her work has appeared in Best New Poets 2008 and 2010, 5 Points, Red Wheelbarrow Review, the New Ohio Review, the Minnesota Review, the Carolina Quarterly, and elsewhere. She lives in San Francisco. Please welcome Tracey Knapp.
Patrick, funny, and probably still insufferable.
Probably, almost definitely.
But thank you so much for coming, everyone. And my graduate school cohort and my press cohort, and we're all kind of reading together, so that's super cool. And I'm really excited to be here, even though I nearly didn't make it. We got caught in some traffic. Okay, I'm going to start with a love poem called The Only One You'll Ever. Darling, I have made you an omelet. I have taken out the trash for you. I will not wake you. I will walk the dog for you, and for you, I will wait in the car while you run into the store. You'll just be a minute, and 10 minutes later, I still love you. I love your cold hands up my shirt when you get home from work, and I love that you work at the bagel shop. I love your bagels. You smell like scallions and garlic, and your shoes are the shoes of a humble man. Your brown dusty shoes next to my brown dusty shoes at the foot of our bed, the untied lap of shoes. We laugh in bed when the dog licks our toes in the morning, and I laugh when you speak into my bare chest in Darth Vader voice and tell me you love me. You tell me you love me when we fight about the thermostat or who spent more on groceries, and I am working on that. I fight a little less with you, I soften and cry, and when I cry, you stop your yelling. You stop smiling when I tell you what to do or how to fold the towels. You are working on chivalry, and I appreciate your efforts. You open my car door on the way to the dollar store, and I feel like a fucking princess. It takes very little to please me, and I am pleased that you have acknowledged my new red dress. You also look very nice, a little wild, always combing your hair against its natural part, your flamboyant exclamation of hair. I say, let's touch base later about dinner, and you say, I'll always touch your base. We drink beer in the park and eat ice cream in the dark. Together, we peel mangoes. Together, we get out of the car to look at the fat orange moon dipping itself into the dark fondue of trees, the sky so vast it silences us. Sometimes I worry when we're this quiet. We're in this together, I say, and you say, how about we just be quiet for a minute? How about you just count the stars, and I will connect the dots between them? This poem is called Difficulties. I fell asleep in the grocery line while waiting to buy you a ham. I was waiting for the right moment to tell you. I told you about the first time in Cincinnati, the man on the bus who smelled of formaldehyde. I can still feel his wool jacket scratching against my bare arm. I can barely feel my fingers. It's so cold that the whiskers on my dog look like icicles. We are walking towards the sun's last attempt. The snow is stacked so high, but my dog begins digging like there's an enormous flank of steak beneath. And what does he pull up but his old squeaky whale? We hadn't seen it since summer. It's been a difficult winter. It's been difficult to smoke pot with my accountant. He tells me it's not the 60s, and it's not the first time I've heard that. The first time I heard about your sick cat, I tried to call, but I heard you were turning yourself into a grain of sand. I have turned you into a grain of sand. This is the first time I can honestly say that. The first glass of wine was followed by the next, and now it's the first Monday at this new desk, the first Monday I haven't spent the evening loathing my thighs over a glass of wine. Where there's self-loathing, there's yourself, and then the one bright thing underneath that makes life worth digging for. And to the new moon. Come night. Come sirens and midnight babies born in the back seats of taxi cab. Come moon, you crazy weeping alcoholic, quit drinking yourself into nothingness. Someone's trumpet has gone missing tonight. Someone is looking for you, holding your hairbrush to the nose of a bloodhound. Leave your shadow on the doormat and come inside. I'll cook you up something good, a grilled cheese sandwich to go with that frown. It's just us girls tonight. Let's spray paint the stairwell, burn phone books in the bathtub. Even though you're telling me you're done, it's over, I've still hung my clothes out to dry overnight in the ocean wind, and that tide is all your work. You may have been the first, but you're not the only one to circle your grief, to slowly darken because of it. I know that it's hard to show your face in the face of the sun and his narcissism, the earth's pushy shadow. But I've seen you in the daylight, edging into the sky early for a while, urging the herons to stab at fish, the streetcars to lurch up and over the long hill before they rattle on down towards the bay. Moon, it's 2 in the morning and it's time to stop hiding. The French Alps are talking about your new glow, how you actually look younger, and all the dogs adore you. I've been traveling lots this week and really kind of over it. I feel like I've been gone from San Francisco for a month and it's been a week. And I'm flying back tomorrow. I love it here, but there comes a time when one needs to be with their dog, and that time is now. So this poem is called Red Eye, which hopefully none of us have to do very often, but I'm sure you'll understand. The woman sitting beside me just pulled her bra out from her sleeve, and I'm thinking that's not a bad idea, a little release from the strain of the day. It's time to dim the cabin lights, time to quiet the constant inner chatter, the terrifying uncertainties of flight, and also this uncertain life. Time to take off my sneakers and make the best of this window seat, a song on my headphones about collapsing stars. I heard a prediction of the Earth getting hit by a giant comet in 2029, the massive tsunami that follows, swallowing my entire city and then spitting it back out. The plane hiccups over an invisible bump. Maybe they were right about the apocalypse, although I never thought I would live to see it. Maybe I will never live to see the next Star magazine or learn the truth about UFOs, but I am pretty sure that I don't care about crop circles or celebrity cellulite. I don't care about a lot of things anymore, but I am going to start caring about myself again right now and then build up a dedicated following. I'm going to stop hovering over dark matter, flirting with the black hole of hang-ups and hangovers. I'm going to fit into those checkered shorts again. I'm going to make out with my hot neighbors, and I'm going to start eating early dinners. Oh, late night burgers. It's only midnight, but I'm ready for my second bag of salted peanuts and another Xanax. I can't relax when I consider the man who loves me, even though he should know better. My little snits and silences escalating our tension to a fearful height. The woman with the bra has rested her head on my shoulder, her snore like the purr of an elderly cat, slow and staggered. The clouds ramble by in inconsistent fits. From 35,000 feet, I can see a city below me flickering like a miniature galaxy in the shape of a crescent, spooning itself around some dark lake. I'm going to read a poem in response to your poem. I'm not going to read the vagina poem. Not worry, Patrick, I know. I know. Memories. This poem is called Blonde. And it's a found poem, so you might be able to figure out where I found it. Lipstick on the cucumbers. She couldn't keep her calves together. Mail gets delivered to the right box. She wasn't used to being in the front seat. Bite marks on the steering wheel. Why was she upset? When her tampon is behind her ear, she can't find her pencil. Fired from her job. Why did the blonde fail? Call the welfare office, jump off a bridge, drive into the ditch. Why did she scale the chain link fence? Break her back leg, marks on her back. How did the blonde explain? Have another beer, other guys waiting their turn, the more you bang it. How many does it take to screw a blonde at a flashing red light? Crawling across the street. When is it legal to shoot a blonde in the head? Couldn't dial 911. When she wakes up on the floor, she gets dressed and goes home. This poem is called Last Laugh. Outside of the bar, you laughed over how funny it was when I stormed out, and then there were no taxis. I can't remember when you did what you did, but it only meant I wouldn't be coming over. One cab finally pulled up, and neither of us could bear to take it, be the first person to leave, nor find funny how sad it is to be the last one standing there, the jerk with the mouth who gets to go home alone. So I just walked, took the scenic route, past the collapsing barn, all of the shoes on telephone wires, and how many lights on in all of the kitchens, someone unable to sleep next to the person asleep in their bed, and the moths in August on the street lamps, bumping faithfully into the light, the crickets with the crunch of shoes against fresh gravel, the new tar cooking, and I thought if I wasn't alone, I wouldn't have noticed the moon. But then after 2 miles back to the house, the dog in the pen was asleep and crowding the tree stump with her body. Really wanted to land that one, damn. I'll just read a couple more. My mom is here, so I'm going to read a poem in which my mother appears. How's that? Nance. Find it. I was just making fun of people who spend half of the time looking through their book if they're reading, and now I'm doing it. Cursed. All right, another report. Sometimes I think I'm better off keeping my mouth shut. Other times I open up and hope something good falls in. A sleeping pill, a flower petal soft as the wing of a moth. I hope for a moth to fly in through the crack in the glass, for the glass to uncrack, unrest to surrender. It's too late to revive the sheep. I mean to say I've barely slept all week, still thinking about the fur shell of a dead maggot, full of maggots I found in the backyard. I had to hold the thing, lift it with a rake, and wrap it in a shopping bag. I threw it in the dumpster, the body light and warm with stench. Something parasitic remains in you when you handle certain matters. It makes you want to remove what lingers and put it in the ground. I gave the rake to the neighbors and avoided the backyard, even after winter when the crows crowded the trees and cried. I closed for business. I gave up whatever I had that felt like it was dying on me. An old cactus in a teacup, my dumb guitar, the facial expressions for thanks and I don't think so. I left a friend that year. I stopped calling my mother because who needs the same bad advice you'd already give to yourself? Once she told me to write it all down, and look where that has gotten me. Nice. The book is dedicated to my mom, so I made up for the smack talk. I'll end with one last poem. It's the last poem in the book. It's called Vanishing Point, and then I will vanish. I might be obsessed with smallness. Sometimes I want to yell macaroni, but then I feel void of meaning. How about you give me meaning and vice versa? How about you're the doctor and I'm your subject? I want your subject to like my subject. I like your mouth, but I can't hear a word you're saying. I'm just saying, if existence were an endless line, a heart monitor, you might be my biggest blip. I might be a crater. I might be wrong. Last wrong turn, I ended up in Dubuque on the world's shortest trolley. At the top of the hill, I could still see my green flip-flops melting into the asphalt. They were small, very small. Perspective is a big deal. It's as big as a baby's arm. It's bigger than the bones they found buried beneath the old drive-in theater. I remember making out there in the back seat, your hands, my green soccer shorts. I remember the shorts. It's always the little things. A man carves a Marilyn Monroe so small that she fits into the eye of a needle. No needle will prevent you from shrinking entirely. It appears you are becoming smaller from here in the future. I think you had blue eyes. I can't see your face from this distance. You appear to be merging with the tree down the street. Thank you. Thanks for coming.